David Lammy's amused dismissal of Donald Trump's renewed Greenland ambitions reveals an interesting interplay between rhetoric, realpolitik, and the Arctic's strategic significance. And while Lammy's laughter might suggest this is another example of classic Trump, Greenland's response and the broader global stakes tell a more nuanced story. Greenland, a self-governed territory of Denmark, is more than just an icy expanse with a population smaller than a London borough. Its location at the nexus of Arctic shipping routes and its proximity to North America make it vital for global security, and Trump's justification, ostensibly about protecting the US from Russian and Chinese encroachment in the Arctic, is rooted in genuine strategic concerns. The Arctic is rapidly becoming a theatre of economic and military competition because of the melting ice, because of the opening shipping lanes, because of the vast untapped resources that are revealed there. And the US's Pitifik space base already underscores Greenland's significance, hosting hundreds of military personnel as part of the America's defense, missile defense and space surveillance program. Yet Trump's escalated rhetoric, refusing to rule out military forces, transformed this from a quiet strategic interest to an international flashpoint, and Lammy's decision to downplay Trump's remarks, branding them destabilizing yet ultimately inconsequential, is both a reflection of British diplomatic caution and a calculated move to preserve relations with the incoming administration. And while European leaders like Olaf Scholz have condemned Trump's stance outright, Lammy has chosen a different tack. Laughing off the suggestion that NATO allies might ever go to war, he relies on the organisation's unbroken record of peace between members to bolster his point. But is this restraint wise? Greenlanders who pride themselves on autonomy may view Lammy's dismissal as callous disregard for their agency. And the Prime Minister of Greenland, Mute Agenda's insistence that Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders demonstrates that Trump's comments are more than rhetorical bluster. They're perceived as a direct challenge to self-determination. And Lammy's reluctance to engage more robustly risks appearing indifferent to the voices of Greenland's people. Greenland's response has been notably assertive, and the Prime Minister has called for breaking the chains of colonialism, tapping into a growing independence movement. But autonomy comes with vulnerability. The island relies on Denmark for over $500 million annually, and its economy, rooted in fishing, cannot yet sustain independence. So Trump's implicit promise of economic support in exchange for closer ties or outright ownership raises uncomfortable questions for Greenland. Would a partnership with the US mirror Denmark's subsidies or result in a new era of Arctic exploitation? Moreover, Greenlandic officials' openness to increasing the US military presence highlights a pragmatic view of their security needs, but at what cost? As former Greenlandic Prime Minister Kleist warns, trading one colonial relationship for another risks undermining the very independence that they seek. And Lammy's dismissal of the Greenland saga as classic Trump misses an opportunity to articulate the UK role in Arctic stability. Britain, a NATO member with Arctic interests, should have a stake in shaping the region's future. By framing Trump's comments as mere hyperbole, Lammy may inadvertently sideline the broader conversation about how Arctic nations should collaborate to manage security, global change, and indigenous rights. The story is emblematic of how Trump's rhetorical style reshapes geopolitical discourse, and his suggestion that Denmark doesn't even know if it owns Greenland injects a level of absurdity into the serious strategic debate. As history has shown, such remarks, whether about NATO's funding or China's Arctic ambitions, can lead to policy shifts with long-term consequences. And while Lammy's bemusement is understandable, Greenland's response underscores the gravity of Trump's statements. The Arctic is not a rhetorical playground. It's a stage for critical decisions about sovereignty, climate, and global security. And Britain should not merely laugh from the sidelines, but engage actively in these conversations and how they play out. After all, what starts as bluster often ends in policy. I hope Lammy's laughter is not remembered as a missed opportunity or as some sort of mockery This is a chance for policy to be shaped that will help the region and the world develop more appropriately. This is about what is good rather than about what needs to be forgotten. Because this is Trump. This is about Trump over-egging the omelette and seriously endangering world peace.